Welcome to Table Talk on this Thankful Thursday. It's Thankful Thursday again, and we have a lot to be thankful for. Actually, this is the
weather is good.
The weather is beautiful.
The land is ready.
The land is ready.
Today is sponsored by LaCroix.
LaCroix.
It's a good day.
It's a great day. It's a fantastic day. It is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it.
I'm going to see if you're going to finish.
Oh yeah, I know that. I'm old school.
I knew
you
you
know
knew
what
the
I'm
memory verse like Jesus wept.
That's right. I do that. John 11:35.
Those complex ones.
I do.
Longer,
Jesus wept in John 3:16. That's about all my repertoire. No, so if you are joining tonight, welcome. If you're joining tomorrow or any other day, still welcome. This was week 4, so we're following the fourth week of our setting the table series. And this was a good one, I thought. A great one, actually.
I'm glad.
I know.
Did it go well for you?
It did.
Okay,
it did.
good.
Yeah, it was a good one. There were quite a few moments actually that spoke to me on a good level. But this week, if you missed the sermon, I just want to say go back, watch it, or listen to it on the podcast. If this is your first time here and you've missed all of them, then just have a day on YouTube and watch all of our sermons. And there you go. And catch up. Yeah.
Catch up.
So week 4, Pastor John, why don't you tell us just a little bit about it?
Well, so, I'm guilty of often saying that this is one of my favorite passages. But this
is a good one.
It's one of my favorite passages. And to me, especially when you're doing this initiative that's truly discipleship-oriented in nature, but has this component of spiritual discipline in the area of giving, that can be challenging for some. But to me, this passage, especially this passage, speaks to the heart of it all. It's the heart of the matter. And truth be known, everything that we're doing right now is because it is our heart that God is after, right?
Yeah.
And so here we see Mary, and her heart is so bent towards loving Jesus, worshiping Jesus, that she's willing to pour out the best of what she has. And so that is in essence, the nature of the message in its entirety is this perfume. And I kind of used that as an example in a way that could seem contradictory, but not really if you paid attention through the whole, talk, if you will, the whole message, which in the sense of, it wasn't, it was really, at first I said it wasn't, what did I say? It wasn't about, of course it was alliterated, but it was something about, and I said it was about the perfume, right? Mm-hmm. But it really wasn't
about the perfume.
Right.
Yeah.
I used that kind of
throughout the whole day, too.
Itself, right, but it wasn't really about the perfume. It was what was behind the perfume. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where the whole thing landed, you know. We see this story unfold, obviously. Mary, Martha, Lazarus, Simon, other disciples, friends, family, whatever, they're all there. It's a party in honor of Jesus. They wanted to celebrate, obviously, that he had just raised Lazarus from the dead. Lazarus is there. They're reclining around the table. Then we see Mary come up to Jesus, and she brings with her this bottle, if you will, this pint of a very valuable perfume. That's what it was. I said it wasn't anyway, perfume.
Nard.
Yeah, nard. and with that, she's saying many things. It's very symbolic of different things. But the thing that we really kind of honed in on was that this perfume, so expensive as it was, it would have been the equivalent of saving every dollar for a year to purchase it. And she just, in a sense, wastes it, according to Judas and some others. She wastes, she lavishes, she pours it out upon the feet of Jesus, which, ceremonially, this would be the dirtiest part of his body. Mm-hmm. And then she takes her hair down, another cultural no-no, in front of all the men. And her hair represents her glory. It's her crown. She wipes his feet with her hair. To me, this is one of the more profound expressions of just uninhibited worship. It's elaborate, it's extravagant, it's unhindered, it's unembarrassed, it's sacrificial, it's humble. Everything about this moment was just nothing short of significantly profound. Mm-hmm. And this is what Mary's doing. And so, of course, then you see the dialogue that follows this, where Judas calls us out, and hey, what about the poor? And Jesus says something that seems somewhat opposed to his life message And don't worry about the poor. You're always going to have them, but you're not always going to have me. And we spent some time talking about just that in and of itself, just so that we didn't give everyone an excuse to just, oh, no, that's not what he was saying. He was speaking specifically to the
That moment.
prophetic nature of what Mary was doing, but also the profound nature of what Mary was doing in just her active sacrifice and worship. And so, very powerful passage, encouraging us to ask ourselves some questions, I think, such as, what is our perfume?
Yeah.
You know, what is it that we're bringing to the feet of Jesus? That's where Mary wanted to be. She wanted to be at the feet of Jesus. So what is it that we're bringing to the feet of Jesus? And obviously in this season, setting the table, when we know that God is calling us to a deeper depth of devotion, when we know God is calling us to a commitment that deals with generosity, biblical giving, for the sole purpose of, you know, our devotion, for the sole purpose of sowing in, building his kingdom, making eternal impact. So we look at all that together, and that's kind of where I hope that's where the message left us, is furthering that challenge of pressing in deeper to the heart of God to say, God, what is it that you're doing in this moment in my life? What is it you're calling me to, our family to? What are the levels of sacrifice that you might be pressing into, that you're challenging us to say, are we willing to bring these things to your feet? Whether that's, you know, tithing, beginning to tithe. I mean, for some of us, that is the faith step. And that is a very good faith step in order to just, you know, express your level of devotion to the Lord. I'm trusting you. My dependence is upon you, you know. For some, it's that expanded giving. You know, in the book, I love this because there's a part in the book that basically walks you through this chart, if you will. If I can find it. Yeah, it's page 15 and 16, but it just talks about the journey of a giver. You know, initial giver, partnering with the gospel, and it gives us just kind of an explanation. Consistent giver, intentional giver, surrendered giver. You know, surrendered giver is someone who recognizes the power of the gospel, what God has done in and to me, and now what he wants to do through me, in a sense, and they surrender and honor God with 100% of their resources as a result. That's not saying that, Shane, every dollar that you make, you're just going to get. No, but it's saying, hey, I've got a willing heart, whatever it takes, right? I'm not going to live simply by percentage. I'm not going to live by some legalistic law or some spiritual discipline even of, I give this because what is it? No, I'm living by first fruit mentality of God. How can I sow? How can I outgive you, first of all, right?
Well, it's kind of like what Julie was saying, too, when she was preaching, just about, it's not necessarily, the Lord's not necessarily asking you to sell your house, although he may be.
Yeah.
But he is asking, what are you doing with your house?
Exactly.
Right? Are you using your house to spread the gospel,
for the kingdom,
for the
to
kingdom?
build the kingdom? And so that's why I like this chart, because it takes you from initial, just here's my first step towards this, God, all the way to eternal, you know, someone who's giving with eternity in mind, which we will talk about in just a couple of weeks. But you know, just really walking through this and asking myself these questions. And that's why I felt like the perfume passage was truly profound when it came to us examining our lives and how are we leveraging our lives that God has breathed into us, right? How are we living into you know, the possessions that He gives to us? What are we doing with all of this that God, you know? One thing that also Julie said that I thought that was so good, and I repeated it, and I'm going to keep repeating it, but she framed it in just the perfect way of, it's not that we give to get, it's we give because we've already received, right? We're not giving with this mentality of, oh, if then, or, you know, and there is some biblical stuff about that is worthy of examination. We probably look at it a little bit this week, but that's not the motivation, right? The motivation, or I guess maybe the understanding really is, man, I'm giving from what I've already received.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of the idea, too, of first fruits, right? It's the first thing you do because the Lord has given, and now He's blessed you to be a blessing.
Right, which is also a deeply biblical principle, you know? I mean, you talk about the fruit of the land. You talk about, you know, work the land for X amount of years and then let it rest for one. And then you see the result of when they didn't do that. And I mean, there's just so much about, well, just simply about, you know, how God called people to give throughout the Bible. And we could say, well, yeah, well, I give of my time. Yes, you do. I serve. Yes, all these things. But that's just one part of it, right? So when we talk about radical generosity, we're talking about holistic generosity.
Everything,
So it's not just to serve. It's not just in time spent doing this, or, you know, serving in kids or cafe or whatever, hospitality, whatever, right? Yeah, that's good. That's part of it. But really, I think the rubber meets the road when you are saying, I'm checking every box, Lord, not because it's a formula, because it's an expression of my faith. It's showing, my gratitude to you, my devotion to you, my heart for you, my heart for the people that you love, all of the things, right?
Yeah.
And if that means time, awesome. But there is an element to, okay, what are you calling me to do, God, with these resources? How
Well, I
am
mean, it's
stewarding?
true sacrifice is sacrificing everything, every aspect, time, money, I mean, everything that we have, right?
Again,
And so
which
it's
is
a
another thing I
piece.
love about this story.
Yeah, because it's not, I mean, it's money,
It is.
But
Well,
it's
it's value.
it's value.
It's value,
Exactly.
and it's
Right.
all of the above. It's holistic. We know that Mary was one who had the character that wanted to be near Jesus.
Yeah.
She wanted to
Which
be at the feet
I
of
think that's
Jesus.
what was so in the moment whenever you were talking about her hair being her glory, that was kind of the piece. So we see like the perfume in it of itself is a huge gesture.
Yeah.
But then you also have her hair, which culturally is a little different for us. But I still
Right.
ain't wanting to rub my hair on someone's feet. So I'll say that.
Yeah.
But it's just that of her just pouring out not only, the value of what she had, but personally her own value as
Right.
well.
Right.
And just the amount of love, but sacrifice, but just worship, as you said, that moment was a very special moment for her and obviously it made it into Scripture, which just pours out to, what that meant.
Yes, and the like as we kind of look at I guess I don't know, I can't really say story arc, but the arc of the series, where we began, where we are as of Sunday, and then now where we're heading. I could not think of a more fitting message for Sunday, this last Sunday, leading us into this week, leading us into what's happening tomorrow night. I don't know, when we're seeing this. I know it's
Yeah,
Thursday
it depends on
evening,
when you
but
watch it.
when people watch it, I sure hope I hope that you can see this before Friday night, especially if you call Declaration home, and because tomorrow night is really going to be one of those profound. I believe it's an invitation to a profound moment. It's an invitation to a perfume moment, type of moment, where again, it's not about the perfume,
Yeah.
Well, and I hope people hear it, because on that commitment card, we've been talking about that gold box. What is that number? What is that? We're not asking for the number. That's not. That's between you and the Lord. So I'm not like coming to you, Shane, and saying, "Hey, what's your number?" That's not what I'm doing. But because it's not about that. It's about what's behind that number. It's about what is behind the perfume. What is it that is the real expression of your devotion that God is calling you to? Not just it's not to prove that to God. It's out of worship. It's out of gratitude, but also it's an invitation to partner with God and to see God do some incredible things. I've been kind of woodshedding the message for tomorrow night and as well as Sunday, but tomorrow night's message, it's kind of like one of those, I kind of want to deliver that message a couple of times if I could.
Yeah.
Because honestly, tomorrow night feels to me in messaging like kind of a culmination of all things, even more than that of what we'll do on Commitment Sunday.
Yeah.
The Commitment Sunday message is great, but and I think it's going to be just as powerful in the sense of just, okay, how does all these things come together, for us, heart, mind, soul, all of it. But just seeing what King David did, as he's preparing, if you will, to kind of, or I should say, at the climax of his reign, basically, to see what he did, and to see as he's kind of ending his tenure, if you will, what mattered. I'll just leave it there. I don't want to go too much, but this is that moment for us. Like it's an evaluation, a heart check of, okay, what is it that really matters most, right? And I grieve a little bit. If I'm just being honest, over so many who I don't know if they're engaged. My hope is that we are, right? That's what we said. Our primary goal is 100%, because, man, God is doing some, just incredible, significant things right now in so many people's lives. We had a testimony of a family, a wife that came in this week and told us a testimony of something, and she shared some conversation back and forth between her and her husband, and I won't go into that just to respect and honor them, but the conversation that was going on between them through text message, what I'm telling you, I've not heard a more profound testimony in a long time than that. And that is a direct result of what God is doing right now in what we think is a defining season for our church. But realistically, if you're engaged, it's a defining season personally for you in your faith. And so,
which I think even another aspect why this story would be so good is I mean, that was such a defining moment for Mary.
Yeah.
Of just, I mean, her life was never going to be the same.
Yeah.
You know, and even just seeing Jesus' love towards her and silencing the room, which I'm sure was shocked.
Yeah.
You know, Judas said something, but I'm sure the whole room was shocked. You know?
Yeah.
And so it's just that, man, and then even, you know, talking about tomorrow night, Friday night, the advanced commitment night, you know, we've been talking about legacy so much. And I just feel like tomorrow night, you know, I'm very excited about it just because of, it's like that first night of, I mean, everything kind of, I mean, of course, I've been here for 6 years, right? Been a part of this and been praying for this. And it's just like the Lord just keeps moving and moving and moving. And it's almost to where, like, it's hard to catch up.
Right.
You know, and now we're at this moment where we get to go on our land and have this incredible night.
Right.
And it's so, like, you know, we've been planning for it, but I'm just so expectant to see what more the Lord's going to do.
Well, and
outside
I can tell
of even
you,
what we've
as I've
planned
been
for.
writing for tomorrow, like, that's kind of the framework by which I kind of launch from. Is just, it really does feel like this incredible culmination of so many promises of God.
Yeah.
And it's like we're living in this real-time reality that I didn't anticipate would, I mean, it feels like it's been forever, but it hasn't.
It does. Yeah, it's like,
it's been,
it almost feels like the year 2020. You
it
know?
really,
it's
been a
fast
very
and slow.
quick process, you know, and on some days, yeah, it feels long, but just holistically, it is incredible to me the way God has moved in such a short amount of time and where we stand today, and just to even anticipate tomorrow night, standing there in that place.
Yeah, I can't even.
Realizing what is about to go down, you know, and there's just a whole lot behind that statement.
I was going to say, I like, to me, whenever I think about tomorrow night, I think and I'm processing, like, okay, you know, going through all the checklists of, like, this is what we need to have ready. But I
Y'all
still
do have quite a checklist.
But in the back of my mind, I'm still like, man, I can't wait to be there because I can't even imagine what it's going to be like, really.
Right.
You know,
I know.
I'm just so excited to see what the Lord's going to do. And honestly, talking about legacy, that, you know, however many years down the line, whenever I'm, you know, 100, I don't know. But laying in bed thinking about what all the Lord has done through Declaration and in this community and being a part of and being there for that night.
Right.
And then remembering, man, the Lord. I mean, even thinking about our launch Sunday, I think you talked a little bit about some of that, or we have. Like, even thinking of that is so crazy to me. Of what the Lord. I know last week we talked about when Harvey happened. It's just all these little things that, like, these
I think
moments.
that was more 9 o'clock than 11 that I spent a little time with the night, like talking about launch Sunday.
Yeah, because it's just, and it's those memory things. Every little piece, it's just like there's a little moment that you just see that God has moved in such a way that is just like you can't expect it. And I feel like tomorrow night and then just this whole season really is something that I feel like the Lord has just kind of put on the table. To, you know, throw out that. But yeah.
Well, and I know Kelly. I think Kelly and I think I can speak for her as well. I mean, just to be in this moment and to know that, you know, this is 7 years in the making for us.
Yeah.
6 for the church, but you know, we started this process a year prior, and even before that, the years of kind of working in the waiting and believing that God was doing something, but not knowing what He was doing, and I mean, we can honestly look back, and it's one of those things like you wish you could say, oh, yeah, we're just so smart. We know exactly how we got. We don't know how we got here. You know, if I'm just being honest, how did we get here? There's no way humanly possible that we could have scripted this story or even strategically plotted it out on a map, right? God has just been really faithful in a very awesome, fast way to not just reveal, but also provide for exactly what He has for Declaration Church. I mean, we kind of feel like that we're along for the ride at this point. And we want to be faithful. We want to be, obviously, our team wants to, you know, honor God and do the best we can, be as excellent as possible. Our leadership and, you know, just our our financial team, all of it. We want to steward well, all the things, right? But it's almost like we're trying to keep up with God right now, and which is incredible. And so I'm fine just kind of sitting back and letting him do his thing. And, we'll continue to respond and join him as he's moving.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm just hoping for our church. Like we haven't spent a lot. I mean, we've spent time talking about our goals for this thing, but our primary goal is really our biggest goal.
Yeah.
And that is that 100% of us will be a part of the blessing because we have been blessed.
Yeah.
And we are blessed to be a blessing. That's Genesis 12. Such an important paradigm verse for us. I'm talking about it again tomorrow. I'm talking about it on the 10th. I mean, briefly. But, we don't want to miss out on this moment. And that's not just about giving. That's about being a part of God's movement, right? That's about knowing that, man, my life exists to be a table setter. So if it's not for people, if we can't somehow understand a heart of, passion for God's people, fine. Maybe it's about the next generation. Maybe it's about our children.
Yeah.
Like, just, again, wait till tomorrow night. I don't want to do too much, but I'm just saying that, man, I don't want to miss out on the blessing of being a part of this moment, and I don't want anybody else to either. Because I think it's going to be so, so incredible.
Yeah. Speaking of tomorrow night,
not just tomorrow
too,
night, but you know what I'm saying, like just being a part of
in
this
general,
thing,
I
being
think
engaged with God right now.
I think that's. I mean, we talk about it being the number one priority, and it really is. It's about the heart. It's not about the perfume.
Right.
It's about what's behind it.
Yeah.
But speaking about tomorrow night, there was a message on last week's asking about parking. There's a video right now on Facebook. Go check it out. Watch that. It
Which
kind of
video
gives
is
you.
that? There's a couple of them.
That is true.
that are
I think
pretty
it was
important.
the latest one posted. It's of Pastor Daniel, and he kind of goes over where to park, kind of all of the logistics of the night of what you need to know in order to get there.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some golf carts. So if you have to park far away, don't worry about it. We'll have a ride for you.
Yeah.
And so
Isn't that crazy?
Check it out. I know.
Just what you just said. If it's too far,
I
you're
know.
parking on our property, that's okay. We're going to have a ride for you. If that's not like, because God just gave us 86 acres right there.
No big
so,
deal.
no big deal.
Yeah.
It's good. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe
so,
you'll enjoy the walk. Who knows?
So go check that video. You can actually probably, when this video's done, just scroll down a little bit.
There's
It'll
a
be
few
right there.
videos
So,
that are very important to the next few weeks.
Next couple weeks.
For example, I know when
Connect
I
card.
walked through the commitment card video, that's a great video for everybody just if they have any questions. I've heard some questions as well, like, people thinking that tomorrow night is the first big give, where we're really challenging people to let's flood the storehouse, let's, I don't terrible prime the pump. No, I mean, that's coming. We do want to have that day, but tomorrow night is really about, okay, what is God saying for you and your family right now for this next 2 years, this one fund, secondary goals, setting the table initiative. Is God putting a specific number, a first fruit faith type number on your heart? That's what tomorrow night is really about. And of course, we don't, like, if God's telling you to give, we don't want to say no.
Yeah.
But I'm saying tomorrow night is really about, man, let's come lead the way with our commitment to generosity over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
And so I've heard that question as well. So there's a few videos important. The parking video, just kind of the logistics of the night. Yes, there's food.
I think there's also a kids commitment card video.
There's a kids commitment card video because this Sunday, our kids lead the way before us.
Before us, yeah.
And so anywhere from preschool up through students, they're doing their commitment this week. And so that's coming Sunday. So, and I think that an email, maybe a text message or something has gone out to the entire church, reminding them, like,
because
hey,
I think as parents, that's what the video is for, is how you can help your kid walk through it, like what we've been walking through, which the kids and students, they've been walking through.
They've been doing their own version of setting the table.
Absolutely.
So they've hit every subject that we're hitting different ways, right? They're getting different stories, and they're getting a few more tangible things to talk about and to think about with theirs, but they'll have the opportunity to make their commitment to the Lord because they can. Maybe theirs is obviously going to be different, but it's so cool that they feel. And here's the thing: we say it often. They're not the future; they are the church.
Yeah.
They are the now. They're part of it, and so they get to be a part of what is God saying to them. How can they sow in and build the kingdom together as well? And so I think that's going to be really cool for them this Sunday as well. So check out that video, Mom and Dad, to help your kid understand exactly what and how they're going to operate on Sunday in their time. That's good.
It'll be good. Other than that, I think there's a lot of stuff Easter-wise coming up, but I think priority right now is just tomorrow night. If you're in the area, man, come be a part of it. It's going to be awesome. I think it starts at 7, but we're opening the doors at 6 just so we can do some prayer walking.
We're opening the gates at 6.
Opening the gates. Yeah, it's true. Opening the gates at 6 so we can do some prayer walking. We're going to have some interaction kind of stuff you can do. I know we're going to have like some prayer canvases where you can write a prayer for different areas in the church. So come be a part of that. I want to say kids starts at 6 too, correct? Yeah. So if you have, they'll be at the Holcomb YMCA.
They're going to have fun too.
Yeah, I'm kind of want to be there too. You know, if I could be at 2 places at once.
Yeah.
Oh, and come eat a hot dog at 6 o'clock.
Oh,
so
is that
there
when
you
the
go.
food is? Yeah.
The food is.
Sorry, we're breaking the fourth wall.
I know.
We're talking
we
people
are.
offline
Dun,
here, but
yeah.
So kids.
Kids at YMCA, and then or drop your kids off and then come over. So if you're there at 6:15, it's not a big deal. But we start at 7, so come by 7. But feel free to come early and walk the property, kind of see what's been going on because a lot of it's crazy out there. So it's awesome.
Pretty awesome.
It's exciting. So thank you guys for being part of that. Again, we want this to be interactive. So chime in.
Yeah.
Ask us questions.
And don't forget, hopefully we're able to use these workbooks together.
Yeah.
And we're on page 30 so far, and you've got 29 and 30. You got some questions for reflection for the week, kind of a prayer that we're all sort of praying together, something like that. And then there's a reading plan for us to all be operating together, moving together, hearing the same things, thinking the same things maybe. But God is going to speak to each one of us individually in different ways.
Yeah.
And so use this to your advantage as we continue moving towards week 5, and then our final week 6, Palm Sunday. It's going to be an incredible Easter season. I think we've got so much to celebrate. And let me just say this. We'll kind of bookend all this in a sense. I mean, obviously, we're not finished. We've got so much more for the year to go. But we're gonna bookend all this with a big celebration Sunday on May 1st. Yeah. And that's going to be a really cool Sunday. We're not going to want to miss that. There's going to be child dedication, and there's going to be baptisms and
seniors.
Yeah, Senior Recognition Sunday. And then we're also going to call that our first Big Give Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're going to ask everybody, man, let's begin strong with setting the table, our commitments to generosity. Let's begin strong on May 1. It's our celebration Sunday. It's going to be a great day. And so that's all the things that are coming up.
So not to say there's a lot going on, but there's a lot going on. Come be a part of it. It's an incredible, awesome season at Declaration.
Your staff may faint and pass out for a while after.
It's all the Lord's
Easter.
strength, right? It's the Lord is stronger in our weakness anyway.
I can do all things, brother.
That's right. Amen. I know that one too. So, hey, thank you guys again. We love you. Tomorrow's going to be incredible. So for real, be there. The signups are still open. And the signups, you don't have to sign up to come, but it just helps us out a lot.
Helps us know parking and how many kids.
Yeah, kids you have to sign up for, I'm pretty sure. Yes. So kids you have to sign up for. And then while you're signing up your kid, you might as well just sign yourself up too. So there you go.
Might as well. Declaration.org.
2 birds. So thank you guys. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you Sunday. So you guys have a good rest of your Thankful Thursday.